Guten Tag, my friends. This is Sylvia with Running with Needles and Scissors. And this floss tube is about cross stitch, possibly some knitting, and rarely some quilting. Anyways, it has been a hot minute, and that means it's been a while, and it's also been really hot here. Probably one of the reasons I haven't been back. It's sort of the time when you just can't do very much here in Germany. It gets super hot for without air conditioning. So most of us here in Germany don't have any air conditioning, and so we just have to kind of lay low during the day and make it through and wait for it to cool off in the evenings. And even that takes a long time. So like I said, it's just been hot and miserable. My office that I work in tends to get really warm, and it's been so bad. But anyways, I have fans, and I have an overhead fan and a fan blowing on me, and that's about all I can do. And sometimes I come down here into the living room if it gets too bad and I can't stand it anymore, because this room stays relatively cool. All right, so let's talk about what's been happening. First, I just want to thank you guys for all the comments and subscriptions, and it's so lovely and wonderful, and I just get so much joy out of it. So what I want to do then first is just cover the giveaway from last time, and that is the project bag, this little project bag, and I will put in a fat quarter of linen. I run the comment picker. Anyways, it is Judy Hollingsworth, and her comment was, I am a subscriber, love your heart for the Christian organizations you support. Thank you, Judy. And I will put a comment on your comment and let you know how to get in touch with me. And then you can let me know what kind of linen you'd like, and I'll put it in there, and I'll get this mailed out to you, not this next Friday, but the following week, because my husband's home from the US, but he's in quarantine still. So he has got another week of quarantine to go, and then he is free to move about the country again. So yeah, the other thing that kind of kept me very busy was the absence of my husband, believe it or not. I did a lot of stuff in the house, and yeah, just having to manage everything alone, and the dogs and work, and I was just going. And so a funny thing happened the other night. He's been gone for 3.5 weeks, and I think he was home like 3 nights, and of course he's sleeping up on the 3rd floor, that in the room that used to be my daughter's room. And so I had gone to bed, and I was fast asleep. I was deep sleep, and I hear these steps, and of course it yanks me out of my sleep, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that? Definite steps. And then I see the hall light is on. And so I jump up, and I have a baseball bat next to my bed. Yeah, like that's gonna help. Good. Anyways, but so, and I'm yelling like, who's there? Who's there? My poor husband's like, it's me. I was like, oh, completely forgot that he was home, completely. Anyways, I was ready to bash him with a baseball bat. But I'm glad he's back, and he had a really good time, and he really needed to get away. And speaking of vacations, our plans were to go to France for 2 weeks in September, starting the 2nd week in September, 3rd week in September. And on Friday, we learned that EUCOM, which is European Command, and that's the military command, has closed several countries to us. That means we're not allowed to travel there, including France. Oh, I can tell you I had a really hard time dealing with that. So we were going to go sort of middle southern France, kind of spend some time on the coast. Yeah, just kind of kick back and look at the countryside, have some relaxing days, do a little bit of sightseeing. Nothing like crazy sightseeing wise, just a relaxing vacation, but also taking the sights. And I was so disappointed. I couldn't even get a grip on myself. I was so mad and disappointed all Friday into yesterday, which resulted in me going grocery shopping and buying chocolate and chips and cookies and like that's gonna help, but whatever. So we've just come to the conclusion that we can't plan anything. We're just gonna have to look at like a couple days prior and see what's open and where we can go. We could book something in Germany. I mean, there's lovely places in Germany, and there is beach on the German, it's up north, and so the weather would be pretty iffy. I mean, we may have very good luck with the weather and it just be lovely, 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 or it could be rainy, rainy, rainy the whole time, which I'm also not into. So currently still Italy's open and Croatia's open in that direction. And since we're taking the dogs, we would have to drive. So there's no flying. We'll see. So France, Spain is closed, Belgium, Luxembourg, Sweden. I'm trying to look at, remember the map. So in driving distance. And I know that sounds funny to you guys in the US, but these countries are truly in driving distance. So if we were going to go to Italy, it would probably be, depending on where, because you know that's a long boot. So if we were just going to go to like the Adriatic Sea portion, which is further north, it's probably 8 hours driving. So, but we have to go through the Alps, and so it's not as fast as like getting on the interstate and just, you know, haul in. But anyways, we'll figure it out. I'm still a little upset. You know, I hate to complain, seeing what's going on in the world. So when I say, you know, I haven't been anywhere since August of last year, I have been. I mean, I have to remember. So I did go to England, but it was for work. But we did have some fun. I went to visit my dad, which I will do again in October. My stepmom then can take a whole week. I'm taking a whole week to stay up there. And my stepmom can go do something for a whole week. Yeah, but yeah, I guess I'm getting antsy. And, you know, I was really looking forward to just some beach time. It'll be fine. We'll figure out something. Anyways, so that is that. What else has been going on? I've been working. This is vacation time, so my colleagues have been gone, some of them for 3.5 weeks. This is their long extended vacation time, and a lot of other people are gone in our organization. They're not direct colleagues, they work for other groups, but they're still Open Doors related. And I'm getting these emails now that people are coming back like, oh, it was a lovely vacation. I hope you had a good time off. I'm like, no, I've been sitting here sweating and working. And there is a lot to do. So I'm glad that I stayed to work on stuff. Yeah, so that's about it. Just a lot of work, staying home, eating junk food, picking up the mail every 2 weeks. So last time, so I went this Friday to pick up the mail. So I have to drive to the base. And since my husband's in quarantine, he can't do it. So I have to drive to the base and pick up the mail. And it's about a 25-minute drive there. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's not something I do on a regular basis. And the mailbox we have gives me problems. So it's one of those little locker mailboxes, you know, and you have to dial the combination, and I've always had such a hard time getting these things open. And so last time I went there, which was Friday 2 weeks ago, I got it open the first try. I was so happy, and it was just stuffed full. And they had to give me a cart to get the packages to the car. And then this time around, this Friday when I was there, I also got it open on the first time. And I was so happy, but I wasn't hanging onto the knob hard enough. And it popped out of my hand and shut. I was like, ah! So I had to do it again, but I got it open. So I think I've got the trick. There's a little trick to it, but I think I've got it now. And this time around, it wasn't so bad. You know, I could carry the mail in my arms. Okay, enough of that. All right. Then I wanted to show you, here comes the cross stitch, some of the finishes that are hanging on my walls. I pulled down 4. So this is one of my absolute favorites. Jenny Bean by Kindred Stitcher. Let's see if we, oh no, that's glare. There we go. It's fairly, and so Mine is framed in this antique white frame rather than a black. I just loved it. And this is framed by Jill Rensel, but what we did was I gave her the exact dimensions. She showed me some options. I picked the white frame and she sent it to me. So I actually stuck this in the frame, but she made the frame for me, which I thought was a great, great option. I love this one. I got this at market when I was helping Gloria Moore. I went to market 2 years to help Gloria Moore, Me Lady's Needle. She doesn't go anymore. And I got this at the market, started at market, and just am really fond of it. I think it's stitched on not Earthen Heritage. I think it's stitched on Heritage, pictured as plus 40 count. And she had a limited edition thread pack. And when I opened it, I pulled out the threads, not knowing that they were actually in order of how it was listed. So, it took us forever to figure out what was what, and we sort of guessed. When I say we, I was there with my friend Kim Lewis, and we were both sitting there just kind of going like, which color is what? But there was a method to the madness that Teresa had, and we just didn't know it. And here is Spot the Horse by Carriage House Samplings. I honestly don't remember what linen, but it's 40 count for sure. And I changed it. So this was stitched for my fourth daughter, Olivia. I put her initials here. I put her birth year, and she was number 4. So that's what I did. And I really do want to stitch the new one. Visit, if I spot the horse. Okay, and this one, one of my favorites, is Mary Rowe by Scarlett House. The Scarlett House. I fell in love with this. So that's why I had to stitch it. There's a little bit of rice stitch down here, which also was really enjoyable. I put another dog, I think, in there, so Millie and Mia. But otherwise, it is... I'm not a purist, as you probably can tell. And this is done in Vicki Clayton silk. I'm sorry, the wind is blowing and rattling a little bit, so I apologize for that. It was really pretty and sunny, and now it's windy and probably going to rain, which we still need. The last piece I pulled down was a piece that was stitched for me when I moved to Germany, and so it was stitched by Gloria Moore, Me Lady's Needle. Kim, the one I went to market with, Kim now owns the Stitch Niche in Arlington. You see this stitched in 2009. This is a Brenda Gervais thing. Ava, my good friend Ava, that I go traveling to needlework events with, and my partner in crime, Michelle from Cozy Egg. And so I really treasure this. This is the Brenda Gervais. I forget what this is called, but everybody stitched a piece for me, and I just love and treasure this. All right, that is a couple things from my walls. Somebody had asked me, could you show us more finishes? I'm like, good golly, don't have that many, but there are some. There are more around, and we'll get to that. So what have I been working on? Well, it's August, and in August, Michelle had a birthday yesterday. Again, happy birthday, my dear Michelle from Cozy Egg. I hope you had a most fabulous day. And she started Anne Tong Uffendell by Hats a while ago during Mania, I think. And so we had discussed, like, what do you want to stitch for your birthday month? Pick something and we'll just stitch it together. And so she decided she was going to go back to Anne Uffendell. And I hadn't started it. And for the longest time, she really wasn't on my list. But then I'm like, okay, I'll stitch her. So that's what I've been working on nonstop is Anne Uffendell. And I had found a really beautiful piece of 45, it was labeled 45 count Lakeside Linen. I think it was a vintage exemplar. And it was a fat half, so both samplers will fit on there, Anne and her sister Isabella. And I had this crazy plan of just taking a huge roll of frame, or one of these Millennium frames, so making it a foot long. I actually decided to go with Almanac, and then putting the whole piece of linen on there and kind of stitching them simultaneously, a little here, a little there. And I had ordered my frame from Almanac, months and months earlier, and it wasn't coming and it wasn't coming. And so I finally emailed them. I'm like, what is the deal? You know, where's the frame? And I had it sent to my APO box because it was actually cheaper than having it sent here, because here I have to still pay 20% taxes on the thing. Anyways, so they got back to me and they're like, oh, you know, we can't send it to a PO box because you, what do they send it with? DHL or UPS or something, doesn't deliver to a PO box. And little do they know that when it goes to, if it's military mail, the United States Postal Service delivers it. It doesn't matter who sent. If you can send it with FedEx, you can send it with UPS. It eventually ends up in the Chicago or the New Jersey sorting center and just gets brought over by the military mail. But anyways, it was so close to starting, and I was so upset that they hadn't gotten back to me about that. You know, I was like, oh, just give me my money back. Let's just forget about it. And I'm actually glad that happened, and I'm not working on a foot-long piece of 45 count. When I counted it, it was 50 count. It shrunk, and I'll show you how I figured that out. Ordering it a foot-long one, and yeah, piece of linen. So this was fine. I'm happy it didn't come. I'm happy I didn't follow through with my, you know, ridiculously insane idea. So I've been working on her in my morning stitches and in my evening stitches, and she's been my focus all month long. And here is where I am. She has over one. She has 6 motifs that are over one. I'm telling you, people, it's been hell. That is so hard. I'm not doing full crosses by no means. I mean, I'm glad that the floss even fits in there. And I didn't bring my flosses down because a lot of them are in bags. So a lot of the colors are already in, so you will see them. But I do love how she's turning out. I'm really, really happy with her. So no more talking, just some showing. So here she is. And I've gone down to, maybe I should have taken this one off, down to here. So my plan, I always have a plan, is I just need to finish up the doodahs, these little thingies on the side, you know, to come around, fill in this flower. I need to do the other rows, which I will get done today. She goes over here, that's over one. I'll drive for a little closer. Now I can't see a thing. Okay, but you can. So there's over one. It's just 10 stitch. I cannot do a full cross and over one over here. So there's another over one rows, and then right down here is a slightly bigger over one. And I want to roll my linen so that I can actually come down here and do that band across, and then I can work back up. But I won't get that far. I mean, I'll get the band done, I think, but I think that's about it for August. And she then gets put away because there are other plans brewing. But I'm totally happy with her. Anne Tong Uffendal by Hats. And I didn't bring the pattern either. That's also laying upstairs. But I think everybody's fairly familiar with her. So super, super pleased with her. And this is a Millennium frame. I love it. So it really keeps things very tight. You just need a little bit more fabric up here, but some of the times when the fabric is just the right size, I just sew a piece of muslin out here and use that and put that in and use that to extend the fabric so that I have enough to work on. But it is, you have to wait forever for these, but it's worth the wait. Okay. And they don't communicate either. Like, you put your order in and then wait until it shows up. They don't tell you when they ship it. It just comes. Months and months or a year later. I mean, it's really a long wait. Okay, the other thing I've been working on, when I said I'm working morning, noon, and night on Anne, it's a little bit of a lie. During our devotional time, and not during prayer time, but just, for my work, we take half an hour. It's not always that long, but from 9 to 9:30, we do a devotion. So we all get online together, and it's somebody's turn to do a devotion, and then we cover some things in prayer. So during the devotion, when somebody is talking. I can listen and stitch at the same time. So that's what I've been doing, and I'm still working on Jeanette Douglas Summer, and I've really enjoyed it. And sometimes really, it's like 10 minutes. I have 10 minutes to work on it, but so progress is very slow. But here I am. So I just have to do the over one summer, finish that up. And then there's a couple bees flying around. I think I need to finish up a leaf, and then there's a couple doodads. And we're done. And that white doesn't show up real well, but that is what it is. It makes for a fairly delicate look, but I like it. So that's gonna get done hopefully fairly soon. Depends on how long the devotions are. So there is that. All right, so what's up next? And I just buried everything under. Oh, let me push that, sorry, to come so close. That's frightening. All right, let me pull that out without dropping all my framed pieces on the ground. Okay, so what's up next? Well, everybody's slowly getting there, Coming to America, and things by Brenda Gervais, and I have ordered it. I'd only ordered the basics because I have so much here, and I do have plenty of, as you well know, linen, even the vintage country mocha, which I love. So I just didn't see the sense in having it kitted up. My concern is it's probably not going to get here on time for me to start on time. So backup plan, Michelle and I've seen a couple others, we are stitching the Women of the Mayflower that is in fine lines. Let me hold up the pattern. This one. So fine lines. This is spring 2004. This is by Old Willow Designs, Women of the Mayflower. And I think possibly, hopefully, maybe I could get this done in the time. Starts September 6th, and I think it goes till November 10th, but don't quote me on it. When they land it, Mia is rolling around on the floor, making growly noises, so I apologize. Anyways, pattern. And I actually have this kitted up forever and a day because I have the original called 4 colors. Let's make them beautiful. And I have decided I'm going to stitch this on oh, this is dirty linen. Okay, so dirty linen, which is also the linen that is called for by Winter Rose, which is a Brenda Gervais. It's not released yet, but I was just looking for dirty linen because I was getting ready. I want to be ready when that gets released because I want to stitch that one for the month of December. So these are the colors. I really love them on this. And the kicker was, okay, so, you know, see this sewing on the edge, the, oh, what's that called? Serging. This is so similar. And I thought it looked so pretty that I was like, yeah, I'm doing that. So that's going to be that. We'll start that September 6th. But I have from the 1st of September to the 5th of September. And I was talking to my good friend, Black Betty. We are getting to know each other more and more over Zoom, not Zoom, but Messenger. We talk here and there, and it's been so much fun. Anyway, so Black Betty was stitching on this pattern called 30 Days Hath November by Scarlett Letter. And I'll hold it up. So it's a full coverage piece, and somebody, and you know what? She gave me the name and I totally forgot it, but I will put it in the comments. Stitched down here, stitched in the year of bewilderment, and then she changed, well, it's 2020, and I think she put WTF. I won't put that, but I'll put something, yeah, that I can, that I'd like in on my wall. But anyway, so, and if you look at the faces, it is totally appropriate. And so I was like, yeah, I absolutely have to stitch that. So I hopped on Kindred Stitcher and ordered the pattern. It's beautiful. It's color on the inside. There, you just saw it. And you see it's all color. It's very nice. And since it's full coverage, I am going to do it on silk gauze. So it's ready to go. And that's how big it's going. Not quite as big. I mean, there's margin, so it's probably going to be like that. But it's straight, that big. I've got it in my fabulous kitting up way. So it's a mix between Vicki Clayton, and I did have some, let me look. No, that's Vicki Clayton again. I do have some of the Avera Soie. If I had it, there it is. If I had it, I put it in. So I think there's a couple, not very many, but if I had it, I pulled it. Oh, here's another one, I think. Yep, there's another Avera Soie. But I have really a lot of Vicki Clayton silks, so I try to use those whenever possible. And I really do like stitching with them, so it's not like it's a punishment. Okay, oh, and news on Vicki Clayton. She has started dyeing again. She started with some linen. She found old stock linen. Some of it is Zweigart. It's a very interesting Zweigart linen. I'll show you in a minute. And she's dyeing minis. So minis are these guys. And they come either in 6 strands or single stranded, which I love. So you can just pull it off and cut and stitch. There are 5 skeins worth of silk on these, and right now on Vicki Clayton, no, handdyedfiber.com, I think it is. I'll put the link down below. The minis are $8. Can't go wrong. Go look at it if you're interested. If you have questions about it, you can write to me and I can tell you how that mini forum works. But it's the best deal going, seriously. So, like I said, she started with linen, and there are various counts. She's got a 32 count, 40 count, which is a little lighter linen. The Zweigart linen is a 38-40 count. There's a 36 count linen. It's super reasonable. So I ordered a few. I ordered only the 38-40 count because that was a Zweigart base. And it's interesting. It has a really nice hand. I want to show you this color. This is so similar to Vintage Autumn Gold. So if you're looking for Vintage Autumn Gold, and you can stitch, well, there's other counts, but I only have the 38-40, so I don't know how the color takes on the other linen bases. This is a really good deal. So this is, you can see the orange line. It's Zweigart. This is bird feathers. And I'll have to see if I can get closer to, so I believe, so you can see a little bit more, it's, well, maybe not. It's pretty even. It's not quite even weave because there are some slubs here and there, but it's a pretty darn even piece. It doesn't feel, let me feel another piece of linen. No, doesn't feel quite like linen. I think it's a cotton linen mix. I don't care. The price is fantastic. It'll stitch beautifully. And once something's stitched on it, you won't even know if it's, I'm just looking at some slubs. So let me show you the colors. I didn't need any linen, but I have linen. I love linen. So I'm gonna have to stop apologizing for linen. And I'm such a slow stitcher. Okay, so these 3 are mystery colors, and I ordered bird feathers. And I'm gonna get a little bit more of this. Like I said, Vintage Autumn Gold. I've tried to reproduce it in my dyeing. I can't. I have not had, well, I probably could, but I haven't had any success. So I'm just gonna buy it because it's not all that expensive. All right. Then that was Vicki Clayton. So we're now into stash. I'm not gonna show you everything. I'll show it everything eventually, don't worry. Now, if you guys watch The Attic, they announced a while ago they were doing 103 Avera Soie, a monthly club. And I had written to them and said, hey, I would love to be part of that. Never heard back. Not a thing. And no yay, no nay. Then Brenda, a number of weeks ago, showed the first installment. And I was like, oh, well, I guess, you know, and they'd already announced it was full. And I wrote, like, I mean, within 24 hours of, I mean, less than 24 hours of the video coming up. And so I thought, like, okay, well, I guess I'm not in, you know. I guess, like, they've left me to figure it out on my own, which I did. And then I get a notice in my email, like, the attic has sent you a package a couple weeks ago. And I'm like, well, I didn't have anything on order, or, you know, did I forget something? And so on the last time I picked up mail, the package was there. And I get home and I open it. I totally start laughing. It's the Veriswa Club, which there were 2 of them, so they sent me 2 months at once. And happy. I mean, I'm thrilled to be in it. I wish I had known, you know. Anyway, so I'll show you those. These are really pretty. Let's turn them around. So this is the summer. This is June. And there, she put needles in there. I mean, when the attic does something, it really is first class. They do a wonderful job. But, you know, having to guess isn't any fun either. And this is July. So I'll be honest, I've never stitched with it. I think you have to get a little bit used to it, but I'm gonna try it pretty soon. So, totally happy to have it. Then here is my color and cotton July 46 count, fat half. I'll just leave it in the bag. It looks a little like, no, it's oranger. Well, maybe not. Could be. No, it's a little pinker. Well, it's coming across a lot pinker than it actually is. It's not that pink. So when I compare it to the 45 count vintage exemplar, it's very similar. So there's that. And the color is pearwood. Sounds like it should be green, but it's not. So there's that. Let me set the patterns aside. A Victorian motto came, but for June. So still waiting on July and August. So I probably won't see August until end of September. July should be here maybe next week. And so this one's called Colonial Sampler. That's the 46 count. That's coming across pretty true to color. And this one is Harvest, and that's the 40 count. And that one is, no, it's not quite as pinky, but you see they're pretty similar. But if I lay them down, they're not similar at all. Completely different. Interesting how the camera does that. Okay, so there's that, and the flosses that came. Oh, she does beautiful colors, Victorian motto. So this is the bright, and this is the sampler colors. And I have now asked her just to switch me over to the sampler colors because, well, they're both good. I'll use these. Maybe not the orange. That's a pretty bright orange. But anyways, so there's those. And then also the floss of the month from Color and Cotton came. These are beautiful. She also does just, let me hold them the right way so you can see. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So there's 3 primitives and 5 of the entire selection. And I have to tell you, I've been in her club for a while and I haven't gotten a red yet. Not a one. Which is interesting. This is not quite red. It's still in the pinkies. Looking forward to getting some red. Okay. So here you'll see my insanity, seriously. There's no hiding it anymore. When I ordered the 30 Days Half November chart from Scarlett Letter from Shakespeare Peddler, you know, there's that rule, no chart should travel alone. And I was like, so what? There's other charts I could have ordered, but for some odd reason I didn't. You know, what I did order, in order that my chart doesn't have to travel alone, is a piece of linen. I'm dying. Okay, so it looked really interesting. This is XJU or XJU design. On the scribble, it looks like gray sand. It is really, it's a really interesting piece. So it's got more of the splotchiness in a corner and then down on this corner. And what I thought this would be perfect for is, for some odd reason, remember my thing about I don't like Halloween stitching? I don't know what happened there. I still don't really like Halloween stitching, but I have it in my head, I must stitch Ghoul-Tide Welcome. No, I will not stitch Ghoul-Tide. Won't happen here. But I think it would look great. So I looked at the pattern. I don't know if I brought it back. It's upstairs. And I'm just going to cut off, not stitch that whole bottom hill where it says Ghoul-Tide Welcome. I'm just not even going to stitch that. There are like 4 or 5 lines of grass. I'm going to cut it off right there. All right, rather than playing air guitar, the version of air guitar without a pattern in my hand, here's what I'm talking about. This is Ghoul-Tide Welcome by Plum Street Sampler, and I'm talking about just dropping this bottom portion and just shorten up the border. And I think there's spaces on the left and the right of the hill then, or the piece of grass, so I'm just gonna pop a pumpkin in there. I'll change my the witch in that to a non-witch, and it'll just be a fall piece, and I think it'll look great on this piece of linen. Okay, there's that. A couple of patterns came in. I've been admiring these, and those will be on dock for next year. This is Scattered Seed Samplers, Spring Gathering, and I bought their Buddy Spring Delivery. I got Sisters of the Faith, Pin Keep Drum. I am totally enamored with drums right now. I have not finished one. Oh, Friends of the Heart. So Felicity from her name's not Felicity now, I forgot her name. Felicity Stitches stitched this, or was in the middle of it, and anything I see on hers, we must have exactly the same taste. I have to run out and buy it. I love it. So the little fox, the little house, the squirrel with the acorn, so cute. And her whip was drop dead gorgeous. I was like, oh yeah, I have to stitch that. So it's going to get pulled in at some point or another. Now you may wonder what's happening with all my other whips. They'll be back. I think after December, I will come back to those. I fully intend to finish. So then I ordered from Hobby House. I haven't taken it out of its, because my friend Black Betty, when we were at the attic together, and that's where I got to meet her, said, hey, if you find these, what are they called? Shaker, Lahay, I think. Shaker trays or anything from Lahay, grab it because they're really hard to find. And I was just scrolling through Hobby House's website, and there it was, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it because I think it goes with Tanya Brockmeyer's Scarlett House American Sewing Set or something like that. It is so pretty, and it'll do double duty. I will just, you know, put whatever in it for now until I stitch that. It's gorgeous. With it, they put the chart in a little envelope. I saw Kindred Stitcher stitching this, and I thought, how cute. And it really never spoke to me until Kindred Stitcher started that, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got to stitch that. But I do love peacocks. So this is Little House Needleworks, pretty as a peacock. And she did it in Armenia, patriotic stitching, and I think it's super cute. And then, oh dear Lord, it's a piece of linen. They wrapped it in brown paper. I just think there's something very appealing about brown paper, so I left it in that. I'll take it out now. It's 46 count platinum linen, and you would think I could have gotten that. It's only a fat 8 at Zweigart, but it wasn't out, and they don't, it's hard to, you can always request stuff, but right now I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna make them run back into the warehouse and get me the stuff I want, or want to look. This is gorgeous. This must not, no, it's not Zweigart. It is Weeks platinum linen. Check this out. What am I talking about? It is so pretty. 46 count. Gorgeousness. I'll figure out what I want to do on this. Okay. There is that. You've seen this. It's been floating around. Okay. We got Jenny from Stacy Nash. Love her. Love this little nesty thing. So I love all these, most of them, these animal crackers. Now I didn't get any of the cats because we're dog people, but my oldest daughter just got 2 cats, 2 black, one's black and white, one's black. They're 5 months old siblings. The girl's name is Coraline, and we call her Bean. I call her Bean because she has white socks on her feet, but her little pads are black, and they're so cute. And so I just, black beans. Anyway, so I call her Bean, and then the little boy's name is Bogart. So that's Bogey and Bean, also known as Coraline and Bogart. And I might stitch those for her eventually. Now, I still have a big pile of those 50 samplers. I think this is the end of the 50 samplers, but I'm not through with my stash yet, so there's still stuff. And I didn't count my whips, which there's some really big ones in there as well. But let's go. Let's look at these. This is Scarlett Clayton. There's a number of people stitching on it right now. I've had it forever. It's kitted up with hand-dyed fiber. It is fabulous. Fabulous. Now I hear these are a little bit painful because there's a lot of color changes, but I have to tell you, Anne Offendell has color changes quite a bit as well. And in the over one. So Scarlett Clayton, this is done by the Northwest Sampler Guild. They put that together, so you'd have to check with them to see if this is still available. I do not know. I haven't checked anything if it's available. This is from The Good Housewife. This has been one of my favorite. Oh, let me just, I know the pattern's in there, but I've been covering up some of it, but let's do it this way. It's this one. Is that not a fabulous sampler? So this is, it looks like, I'm gonna have to read it backwards, BM 1838. So nice. The colors are great. Let me see if I can cover up most, well, there is some pattern there, but I'll cover it up this way. So not that you could stitch it from that, but let's see. Really lovely. Lovely, and it's not a small one. It is large. It's 256 by 268. It's a humdinger. And densely stitched, but so pretty. Ann Simpson by Sampler Works. You'll find that a lot of these are A&Es, because for a while I was chasing a lot of those. Very pink. I love that. So here's some of the colors. This definitely must stitch. Jane Ballard by Worcester Art Museum, Porcupine Collection. I mean, does that lady not beat all ladies? She's so fun. There is some freehand. I'm just gonna have to get over myself and do it. There's another sampler by Scarlett Letter that has this hill in it. I think they're maybe not related, but from the same region. So the only thing, so she's got her, the only thing, my flosses are tucked in there, is that it's like a map. I mean, I'm not gonna unfold it, but you get the idea. It's wallpaper. Let's see here. And this is half, so this is the back. This is half of it. Still folded. So you're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to do something with it before. And there's two of them, so I think one of them is instructions with some pattern and some, probably the detail of the freehand. Anyways, this one, it's gotta be done. Two Macintosh samplers. Now, I think this one's available on our site, because it wasn't that long ago that I ordered, when I say long ago, within the last 5 years, I ordered this. And it's reasonably priced there, I think. So the Jane Harris sampler. It's so pretty. And again, as you can see, you probably see, you know, very much color schemes are, I love a lot of pink and grays and greens. And here's some of the colors. Oh, I went looking for this in my stash. I didn't realize I had pulled it out. Okay, Michelle from Cozy Egg's gonna get a huge laugh because I told her, so I didn't find it. We were talking about it and I'm like, yeah, I sold that pattern because all that green, I'm not stitching it. And I don't regret at all that I sold. I mean, here, this is on our Fratterdays talk. So I talked to her on Saturday and she's still in Friday. But here's Jane Tindall. Evidently I did not sell her. This was stitched by Tanya of the Scarlett House for Needlework Press before she started designing. And check out that great rooster. The reason I told her I sold it, which I'm still of the same opinion, is that all this grass, I'm not sure. So the SAL that is going on right now is a sheep social distancing SAL. Oh, can I get that out? I think is what it's called. Our social distancing sheep SAL. I will look it up and I will let you guys know for any of you who want to jump on that. There, Nicole is stitching this from Nicole's Needlework. Emily from Eclectic Possessions. Michelle from Cozy Egg started hers yesterday. I know there's other people. Laura from Brenda and the Serial Starter. So there's Jane Tindall. Here are the colors. There's some missing. I don't have everything crossed off my list. So, but anyways, fun sampler. Obviously, it's still on my pile. So all the reasons I gave why I sold it are invalid. Seriously. Okay, there's that. I love this one very much. This is Lucy Red by Homespun Elegance. This is one of these must stitch, and it's big. Don't let it fool you. It's really big. I love this, absolutely. And so that's, you can see that this is a little bit in a different color scheme, golds and blues, which I'm very fond of also. And so here are the colors I pulled for that. Here come some of my handwork samplers. I love this one. Elizabeth Welford sampler. And why I love it is the colors. I love that blue. It's stunning. Of course, I love the two dogs. And look, I think this one is a dachshund dog. I'm going to make this one a little taller, and then she'll be more like Mia. But so pretty. Interestingly enough, I have some red in here. I don't know what that's all about. But there you can see the turquoise. There's probably there's a darker turquoise right here. I'm wondering where the red goes. Oh, maybe the flowers. Flowers. It looks like brown to me, but you know how pictures are. Okay, here's another. The 1830 Margaret Kramer sampler. Handwork. These are out of print, unfortunately. But that border, I love it. And that yellow house. So, I'm trying to get it without the glare. There we go. So fun. Seriously. When Vicki was going out of, when she was announcing she was going out, I made a list of everything I wanted to stitch. And I was like, I'm kitting it up with silk, and was done. Okay, ooh. Okay, Jane Atkinson, 1780. She is a classic. She is gorgeous. My friend Sandy stitched her. And Sandy, I hope you don't mind the story I'm going to tell about your Jane. So, and it is kitted up with Avera Soie. I think I bought these when I was in Paris. During the Paris Needlework Show, Avera Soie opens up. You can go into their shop, and so I bought these at the shop. Anyway, so Sandy diligently stitched this, and this is a humdinger. This takes it's huge. It's a lot of coverage, very densely stitched. And she had it on her ironing board, I guess to give it one last little steam iron. And she was walking in and she had a blueberry smoothie in her hand. Oh, people can guess what happened. Anyways, it slipped out of her hand, which is bad enough. Having blueberry smoothie go everywhere is bad enough. But so it fell out of her hand, hit the floor, and the smoothie the smoothie itself shot up into the air and landed on her Jane Atkinson. She said she aged 10 years right then and there, but she was able to salvage it. And she posted just recently on Instagram some of her sampler walls. That woman has such beautiful samplers that she finished stitching. She's so humble about it. Really gorgeous. So her on Instagram, she's Sam Stitches. Go take a look. And her finishing, she does finishing for herself, I think, is always impeccable. Okay, so that's the story about Jane Atkinson. Sandy's Jane Atkinson's. I hope mine won't suffer the same fate. Here is a, what is this called? Exemplar? Is this, yeah, the Exemplary. And I think her kits are still available at Traditional Stitches in Canada, which is a fabulous shop, by the way. So this is the Sarah Tool sampler. It is a Rhode Island, I think is what they're called, right? Let me see. Rhode Island. Sampler. How pretty is that? I think the colors, I think I kitted it up, but I upped the color values just a wee bit. I like mine a little bit brighter. So that's what I did. I think she's fabulous. What do we have here? Oh, well, Anne Rayner. Here she is. I have both of them. The other one in here in my never-ending box of stash. I don't know. I'm not seeing her that quickly, but I did order her. Okay, so Anne Rayner, and the other one is the Sarah. Something with H, I think. They are twinsies, but this one I've wanted to stitch forever and a day, and so I will get to her. Here's some of the colors. Gorgeousness. What's this? Mary Bars. Boop. She's so pretty. And if you recognize the packaging, you know where I got this from. Country Sampler. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, okay, the John Murray sampler. I love this one. It's got a tear, as I bought it used. So, from, probably Stash Unload, but so fun. I love the people. I love the house. I love you know, that I really actually like densely stitched samplers. That, of course, then you're always stitching forever and a day. But this is DMC, is it? Mm-hmm. You can tell how old it is by the wrapper. So these are the colors. I will probably change these out, or maybe not. We'll see. All right. Oh, one of my favorites. I saw this in person. This is the German sampler by, well, that can't be her name, but whatever. Dated, I'm not even going to try. 1746. When I was visiting my dad a number of years ago, there is that museum, or there was that museum in Celle where all these fabulous samplers, and there's a lot of reproductions flying around that come out of that museum. So this is one of them. And I was like, yeah, I have to stitch that. Unfortunately, the museum is closed. My dad and my stepmom, we drove down there, and they went like to drink coffee and cake. I'm not quite sure what they thought, how long this would take me. And I had asked for a tour. So I think her name is Lorraine Moots. She wrote a book, came and gave me a tour in the museum, and we had the best time. It took forever, and my dad was so impatient. He was like, I felt bad, but then I didn't feel bad. And my stepmom came and was like, woohoo, are you, I mean, we were the only ones in the museum. And she's like, are you almost finished? I was like, no. But anyways, so I did get to go shortly before it closed down. And I love this sampler. There's this little lady. She's stitched over one. She is so pretty. So, I mean, the whole thing. I love it. Anyways, there's that. Oh, here's the one. Rebecca Cullen. That goes with the other one I showed you with that little hill. And Lori from Corgi Cottage stitched this. I'm not sure if she still goes under Corgi Cottage, but you can see like the flower here is similar, the band. I mean, there's a lot of similarities, except one has a bird and one has a fabulous lady. But there's that. And really, when she stitched it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to stitch that. It looked so fabulous. Here's some of the colors. We're nearing the end. Oh, of course, Dorothy Walpole. That's a must-do. She is gorgeous. Nicole of Nicole's Needlework is stitching on. Maybe, I don't know if she's finished it or not, but she most certainly has it going. Here's some of the colors. It's so beautiful. So beautiful. This is a hard one. I mean, this solid band right there. It's a lot of work. All right, set you over there. Susan Singleton. So beautiful. I do have it, the floss kitted up, but it's in a bag separately. So it's not there. I don't know why I showed you the back. Have it. Okay, Susan Singleton, Scarlett Letter. Polly Phillips is also kitted up, but in a separate little bag. Wow. I've seen several people working on this or have worked on this, and it is so beautiful. I am, you know, this turquoise and pink, or pink and green, will get me every time. And the last one, yay! Well, it's not the last one, but that which I pulled is Anne Oriole by GGR, who has some fabulous samplers. She's beautiful. So after I finish Justine, I showed it to you a while back, and she's a cathedral sampler or altar sampler, French altar sampler. This one's up. Now I saw on the Country Sampler website in Spring Green, Wisconsin, they had it done on green linen, and that green linen, I forget what it's called, but it came from, oh, it's called Olive. I think it's called Olive from Dixie Sampler. And they weren't showing the kit available anymore, and I didn't even ask them. So then I went into my own inexhaustible linen stash, and I found, this is Old Weeks, I believe, Confederate Gray, which is showing up way browner than it has a definite green tint. It's beautiful. It looks like I just wadded it up and threw it in there, which I probably did. Let's refold this with some let's give this linen some dignity here. Okay. All right. So, and it's not my favorite linen, but I really don't mind it either. Where is that linen that I just got from Vicki? There's a green one in there. Oh, come out here. This might be too green. There's this one. Oh, it's not as green as it looks on the screen. That's a huge difference. I don't think I'll put it on that green. I thought, oh, maybe I can switch it out. Nope. All right. Now you see what my process is. It's very scientific. Okay, so this, which is much greener than we see, and then I tried to antique the colors a little bit. So this is not based on the spring green conversion, but that was the inspiration. Ooh, okay. Let's see here. Of course, when they just get thrown into the, so here are the colors, and let's hold it up with the linen. I think it's gonna look absolutely fabulous. My misbehaving threads, but I would misbehave too if I was just thrown in there like I did. Okay, so there's that. That, my friends, concludes our stroll through some, and that is the majority, but it is not all, the large reproduction samplers that I want to stitch. That does not include the large non-reproduction samplers. So you see, it's a hopeless cause. I'll never get to stitch all of them, but it's fun thinking about it. And I have to sort of calm myself and say, you know, just enjoy that which you can get to. And I've enjoyed everything I've stitched. Now, Anne with the over 150 count is not so enjoyable, but the rest of her is super fun. And like I said, she comes to an end about another week. Let's see how far I can get. And then it's off to the Women of the Mayflower. Then it's 5 days of 30 days, half November, which I'll probably then pull out again in November because the Mayflower thing stops in November. And so I will stitch her on in November. And it's also my birthday month, so that's what I'm going to stick with for November. And in December, I will start a Christmas project. And in January, I will dig out my neglected whips from 2020, which none of them will have gotten finished. But alas, it is what it is. And eventually they will get done. So that is it. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've most certainly enjoyed visiting with you. I will probably on Instagram share, and I'm HurryMom26 on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, I'll put it down in the bottom. I'll share probably a little bit of our travels, where we may end up. So options are Italy, Bavaria, Austria, Croatia. I mean, it's wide open. We don't know where we're going, but we'll figure it out a couple days prior and just go. It'll be an adventure. I just really wanted to go to the beach and walk along the beach and stick my feet in the ocean and breathe some sea air after this hot summer here. And we'll see. Right now, my whole spirit is rebelling against fresh mountain air and beautiful views. I don't care. I don't want to go to Bavaria or Austria. We will see what we come up with. It'll be fine, whatever it is. I think the most important thing is I need a change of scenery. I need to turn off the computer and forget about work for a while. It's been hard at work. not only from the volume, but also, you know, I've shared a little bit of what's going on in that particular area of persecution of the Christians in other countries. In these times of stress and trouble and hunger and being locked up, the persecution has risen significantly, and it's just very, very difficult to get these reports every day of what happened. But for those of you who pray, I would ask you to pray for the persecuted church. Your brothers and sisters need it desperately. And I'll probably be back after vacation to talk about that, where we've gone, what's happened, what we got to do, and more stitching. Until that time, stay happy, healthy, and terrific. Bye, guys. Love you.